What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fun with Friends podcast. I'm your host, Allie Coutts. I hope y'all are staying safe, having a wonderful day, and, maybe trying some new things every now and then. This is, this episode is late. Big surprise. This is actually the episode that I plan to record at the beginning of season 3 of the Fun with Friends podcast that I never got around to doing. So here it is. It's episode 3, which is not too bad, right? Not too bad. Only 2 episodes from when it was originally supposed to be recorded and aired. Feels like that represents my life. So here it is. I hope you enjoy it. It's just me today. And in this episode, I kind of wanted to just give you an update on where everything is with the podcast. Some of the amazing guests that we have coming up this season, and also share a little bit about kind of what's going on in my own life and why this season of the Fun with Friends podcast might be a little different than the other 2 seasons of the pod. And hopefully that'll kind of help you understand why this season's going to be a little bit of a hot mess. But it'll be a good time either way, I promise. So to start with, life updates. Let's do that. Sure. So as some of you may recall, maybe not, if you're new here, welcome. This is my life. Back in 2020, last year, I quit my job and started my own business, Coutts Creations, LLC, and moved in with my bestie, Katie. Ooh, never called her Kate before. Moved in with my bestie, Katie, in North Carolina, and have been pursuing my dream of having my own business and working for myself for the last 1.5 years now. And there have definitely been ups and downs. It's been difficult trying to find clients and, maintaining financially over the last 1.5 years because of that. And it's actually hilariously picking up now as I'm coming to the end of my time at Katie and Anthony's. So that is one reason why the podcast might be a little wonky this year. It's because I'm working full-time for myself and have found myself with a lot of clients, which is a wonderful thing, but it also means that my time is not as I'm not as available as I was before when it comes to podcasting and time management and everything. So I'm finding myself struggling a little to keep up with everything, seeing as how I also have another podcast going on right now, the Wandering Creatives podcast, plus all of the clients, and I'm moving, and just a lot of things going on right now. So the timing of the podcast might be a little wonky, but we'll get there. It's supposed to be an episode every other week, and I'm going to try to do that, try to stick to that every other week, get you an episode. But there may be some weeks when there is not an episode, and that is not only because of time constraints, but also because I'm really trying to get back into checking things off on my bucket list and doing things that I have always wanted to do that I have told myself I can't do, or that I haven't been able to do yet. And given the state of the world with, the pandemic and all of that, it kind of limits what I can and can't do a little bit. So we're going to play it by ear. We're going to see how it goes. Yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to knock some things off my list. I've already done several of them, including, one of them was I wanted to start a podcast for creatives. Check. did it. One was I wanted to have top surgery, and I did that. And I will do an episode on that, but I'm about a month out of recovery on that. So I'm still feeling out my new body and like living in the experience and living in that moment a little bit. So I want to wait a little bit, and then I'll give an update after I've kind of been able to do a bit more in my new body and let y'all know how that whole experience was. So far though, it's fucking awesome. Like, I have not been happier, I don't think, in my life with me. So it's pretty fucking great. It's been really wonderful. So I'm excited to share that adventure with you in the future. Again, after I've kind of lived with my new self and my new body for a while longer. I also published a book this year. It's a book. It's a book of poetry, so I think that counts. And that's been something on my bucket list for a while, so I officially can check that off as well. And yeah, so I've been able to do some things, which is super exciting, but I want to do some bigger things in the next year. So some of them may take time, and that's just how it's going to be. But once I've knocked them off the list and have experienced them, I will be sure to share them with you all. In the meantime, I do have a couple of episodes coming up that I'm super, super excited about. One is with Katrina McGee, and she's a coach, and she was able to quit her 9-to-5, and she's a digital nomad, and so she's kind of living that digital nomad life. And that episode's really great because she talks about how she was able to do that, how she was kind of able to set herself up for success, moving into the digital nomad kind of lifestyle, and, you know, what some of the pros and cons have been and what her overall experience has been living that nomadic life. And so I'm super excited for y'all to hear that episode. And she's also going to be on my other podcast, the Wandering Creatives podcast, as well, where we're talking about a different topic over there. And I actually might have her back again to talk about budgeting, because she's done some amazing things with budgeting and being able to like pay off huge amounts of debts and save a ton of money, which, you know, helps when you're moving into that nomadic lifestyle. So she's got great advice in that area. So if you're interested in hearing more on that topic, definitely be sure to let us know, because I would love to have her on again to talk more about that. So that episode will be coming up. And then I also have Gemma from Soul Care by Gemma. She just like packed up her shit one day and moved to Vietnam. And so we talk about what that journey has been like for her. And she's a sobriety coach as well. So we talk about, you know, what it was like moving from the UK to Vietnam, and what it's been like working over there, and, you know, finding work online, and how all of that has also kind of influenced her sobriety journey, and how she, you know, what her coaching style is like, and how she helps other women kind of work through and experience their sobriety journey. So that was a really fantastic conversation with Gemma, and I'm excited for y'all to hear that one. And then, of course, you know, we've had one Travel Snacks episode with Geneva, and she's going to be back for several Travel Snacks. I think we've got like 3 to 5 for y'all total. So we cover different topics every episode, and I love Geneva. I mean, she's a great guest. I love having her on the podcast, and she just has so much information to share, and it's wonderful. And she's also on this amazing adventure herself right now. She's in grad school in Spain. So I'm definitely going to be doing an episode with her kind of a ways out after she's been in school for a while, you know, maybe when she gets her first year in, and really want to talk to her about what that experience has been like, what some of the challenges have been, and kind of pick her brain about studying abroad or going to grad school abroad, and would she recommend it or not? So I'm excited for that one. And we also have Jazz back from Tour de Jazz. She's going to be doing a series of short episodes similar to the ones that Geneva is doing, and we're calling those Intuition Talks. And we're kind of exploring, again, how to travel intuitively and how traveling can kind of work into your overall self-care routine and self-love routine, and how you can get the most out of those experiences. So we're going to be doing a series of talks with Jazz, and I freaking love Jazz. So again, can't wait for y'all to hear all of these amazing episodes that are coming up. And like I said, I will do my best to get them out every other week as it's supposed to be for the Fun with Friends podcast. If that doesn't help it happen, I hope y'all will forgive me. There's a lot going on, especially in the next couple of months, with the holidays and everything, and with my business and all of that. But I really hope that you will stick with me throughout this and enjoy the Fun with Friends podcast and continue to listen and learn and get something from it, because I really appreciate every single listener that is enjoying the pod. I guess with that, like I said, this is a short and sweet episode. Got a lot of great things planned. I'd like to again thank all of the listeners for joining me today on the Fun with Friends podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Fun with Friends podcast, on Twitter at Fun Friends Pod 1, and be sure to like, rate, and review the podcast. I really appreciate it, and it does tons for the podcast and it helps it get seen. And I really want to kind of share that message of getting out there and trying new things and being brave and living kind of that bucket list life. So I appreciate y'all sharing the pod and getting the word out. And with that, get out there, try something new, and have some fucking fun. Bye! There you have it. Thanks, as always, for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to tune in for the next one. And if you are looking for some entertainment or you're bored, I highly recommend going back and listening to some of our previous episodes. You can follow the Fun with Friends podcast on Instagram at Fun with Friends Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter at FunFriendsPod1. We are also on Facebook. You can listen to the podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. As always, please like, rate, and review, and be sure to tell your friends about the podcast and get the word out there about it. And as always, my friends, go out there, try something new, and have some fucking fun. Bye!